What's going on, everybody? This is Corey Lee's Boxing, and we are back with another banger. So, man, I can't wait to talk about, Ennis versus Stanionis. It is going down, you guys, tomorrow night, or really tonight, because it's 2 a.m. Eastern time. It's going down tonight, in Atlantic City, you guys. It's gonna be an awesome matchup. Two undefeated champions going, toe to toe. Jaron Boots Ennis 33-0 with 29 big wins by way of knockout. And Stanionis, man, he's 15-0, you guys. Um, and has done well for himself. Has done well for himself so far, so good. He's 15-0 with nine knockouts from Lithuania. You guys know Jaron Boots Ennis is from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Um, and the world ranks. You guys know Stanionis is coming in as the WBA champion of the world. Okay, you guys, and Jaron Boots Ennis is coming in as the IBF champion of the world. Okay, at the welterweight division. Okay, so yeah, man. So look, so Jaron Boots Ennis right now, they have him number one at 147. They got Ryan Garcia ranked number two, Brian Norman number three, um, and a couple other people ahead of Stanionis, which I don't see how. They got Jen Saseski. I'm gonna show you guys this real quick. I'm gonna show you guys the top seven fighters on BoxRec. I'm gonna just show you guys this real quick. They got Jaron Boots in his number one. They got Ryan Garcia number two. They got Brian Norman Jr. number three. They got Jen Seki number four. Lewis Croker number five. Tulane Embiid, okay, number six, and Emmanuel Stanionis, number seven, you guys. That cracked the top seven, which is pretty good. But some of those names I've heard of. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you guys. Um, you know, I've heard of, Jerron Boots Ennis, obviously, Ryan Garcia, um, Brian Norman, obviously he's the WBO champion, I believe, at 147 pounds. Tulane has the IBO champion of the world. Some people recognize that as a major sanctioning body in the sport of boxing. Some people don't. You know, you have the IBF, the WBO, the WBC, the WBA. Some people recognize the IBO, like I was saying, as the fifth. And now all of a sudden, ever since Oscar De La Hoya sold Ring Magazine to Turkey Alex Sheet, Ring Magazine has been popping up on everything lately. I mean, I'm talking about, on fight cards, fight promotions. They just been promoting it a lot. I mean, you got to, and that's another reason why I bring up the Ring Magazine. Smash that like button if you guys haven't already. Let's get these likes through the roof. Let's get it. It's a 2 a.m. live stream, and I'm giving you guys a classic. So I just want you guys to know right now, man, that I've been watching the sport of boxing probably for about at least, 10 plus years. Just strictly watching it, breaking it down, maybe not all on YouTube, but in front of my friends and family, and stuff like that, and how I think about fights and stuff like that. So, I've been doing this for a little. This ain't somebody that just started doing boxing. So if you guys are just checking in, I've been doing it for a little while, and I used to box for a little while as well, nothing major, but definitely had gotten the square circle before, um, and stuff like that. So with that being said, this is a good fight. This is a really good fight. You got two champions, and like I was gonna say about the Ring Magazine. I know I'm switching from subject to subject, but I wanted to break down the Ring Magazine real quick, just to touch on that really, really quick. Turkey Alex G bought Ring Magazine from Oscar De La Hoya, and when he bought it from Oscar De La Hoya, it came with a lot that came with that. You're selling a company. Excuse me. You're selling a company that is, I mean, legendary. The Ring Magazines has had a name in boxing for a while, and listen, man, they've earned their spot, but I see that, Turkey LSG bought it from Oscar. Now Turkey LSG is trying to make the Ring Magazine a major sanctioning body, which more or less the Ring Magazine was kind of a extra belt not even in my eyes, but just the way they promoted it, the way they showed the Ring Magazine. I feel like every division didn't have a ring. Well, they might have had a Ring Magazine champion, but you know, I feel like they weren't prominent Ring Magazine champions in every division, is what I'm trying to break down to you. So the Ring Magazine now is trying to make it known, like, hey, we're here, we're a major sanctioning body, and the Ring Magazine is the only belt that you need to recognize. Like, I even seen Turkey Alex Sheik, pretty much wanted a fighter to raise the Ring Magazine champion, as opposed to the other belts. So like I said, there's a lot with that. That's a lot of politics involved as well, and stuff like that. But to break down this fight, the Ring Magazine champion, the reason why I brought that up, because the Ring Mag is the WBA, the IBF, and the Ring Magazine champion ship is going to be on the line for this fight going down Saturday in Atlantic City. Okay, you guys. So this is kind of a neutral spot. I mean, in all likelihood, this is more of a home fight. I feel for Jaron Boots Ennis. Philadelphia and New Jersey are not far from each other. Um, Stanionis is from Lithuania, so I mean, a lot of his fans are gonna have to travel. But I'm pretty sure he have a pretty good Lithuania fan base out there as well. Even if you're not a boxing fan and you're from Lithuania, you're possibly gonna go support this fight. Excuse me. So to break down this fight, though, you guys, finally to break down this fight, um, I just think that this is gonna be, you know, how much can Jaron Boots Ennis, um, give? And what I mean by that is how much offense can he maintain against a guy like Stanionis? Because Stanionis is an offensive minded fighter himself. We know Jerron Boots Ennis to bang as well and to stay in the pocket, but we know Stanionis to stay in the pocket as well, and definitely bang it out, and that's what he would like to do. But we've also seen Jerron Boots Ennis, use his footwork, and we've seen him do a lot of shifty things like using the Philly shell and things of that sort, and continue to show people that he's evolving, and that he's trying to be one of the greats in boxing. And I think that this fight right here is going to catapult him, either very fast, because I think that this is a very, very good fight. I think these are the two best welterweights in the welterweight division. I feel like Stanionis can beat Mario Barrios, and I feel like Stanionis can beat Brian Norman Jr. No disrespect to Brian Norman Jr., but I feel like Stanionis is that type of fighter where I feel like his pressure, um, and especially Mario Barrios. Tank has stopped Mario Barrios. I think Stanionis is pretty big for this weight division, so I think he would do well against him as well. So I mean, that's the type of level of fight that this is. And this is where I rank this fight, very high in the welterweight scheme of things right now, being that Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence Jr. are pretty much, out of the division now. So the division is up for grabs, and the four fighters I named, two of them are fighting tomorrow night. So I think this, to pretty much in a nutshell break this down, Jaron Boots Ennis is gonna have to dictate the pace because Stanionis is coming. Um, he's gonna have to show a lot of ring generalship, and he's gonna have to, pump that jab out. Pump that jab out in the middle of Stanionis's face, and continue to pump that jab, continue to work that jab, continue to show why you are, one of the best fighters, not only in the welterweight division, but in the world of boxing. So, you know, that's what Jaron Boots Ennis has to do. He's got to show us that he, is a top tier, is the top tier fighter in the welterweight division. Um, because I think he is. I think he definitely is, if not the number one welterweight in the division right now. I think that, after this fight, it's gonna either show that he's the number one welterweight in this division, or it's gonna show that, he's got room for improvement. You know, and on the other hand, um, and on the other hand, Stanionis, coming in undefeated, had a tough fight, with Butev, and that was a make or break fight. That was actually a so close of a fight. That was actually a split decision fight. So, a lot of people don't know that. If you didn't know that that was actually a split decision fight. Butev was a really really hungry fighter. I believe he had more professional fights going into that fight than Stanionis did. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I think Stanionis is definitely one of the better fighters, if not the best fighter that Jaron Boots Ennis has ever been in the ring with. So I just feel like, look, Jaron Boots Ennis, he's got 33 professional fights. You guys know that. But I think Stanionis has a lot of amateur experience. So does Jaron Boots Ennis, not taking anything away. Um, but we know Jaron Boots Ennis likes to trade, and I think that falls in the hands of Stanionis. I think Stanionis loves to bang as well, and loves to trade, but I think that's at the end of the day, you know, another question that I need answered is, can Stanionis, you know, can he show why he's, top dog, in the division, because he's had some words for, Jaron Boots Ennis in the buildup. He has some words for Jaron Boots Ennis. He told Jaron Boots Ennis, you know, listen, Jaron Boots Ennis was talking like, yeah, these belts are coming home with me, and Stanionis was like, no, they're not. He had some words for him. He was saying what was on his mind. Saying what he feels. And I just feel like Stanionis definitely is gonna have a lot to say in this fight. But I think he's really the key to Stanionis winning this fight is he's gotta be able to use that jab and use that jab very good. He's got to be able to use that jab, and he's got to be able to use that jab. At the probably has to be one of his best performances using that jab. I think Stanionis. Some people say that Stanionis can definitely catch Jaron Boots Ennis. I can see where Jaron Boots Ennis has openings, especially with the Philly shell, if not used correctly, where he could get caught. That's definitely That's definitely something that could actually happen. But as far as Stanionis, winning this fight, um, I kind of find that hard to believe just because he's a lot more stationary than Jaron Boots Ennis. I feel like Jaron Boots Ennis has better foot movement and footwork. Um, on in that matter, footwork than Stanionis. So I feel like Stanionis is a little bit more flat-footed, and he likes to trade. Jerron Boots is fine with picking you apart from range, and I feel like that's gonna fall in the hands of Jerron Boots Ennis. I think that Jerron Boots Ennis will win, and I think he'll win by um, unanimous decision, um, possibly a split decision. Um, but this is gonna be I think this is gonna be a good fight, just because I know Stanionis wants it, and I know he wants it bad. He's not. He has a child that's being born, and he's not even gonna be there to possibly watch his child being born. I'm not sure if the kid was born yet, but she was. I believe she was. You know, could be having it any day now. So he said that he'll be home Monday. You know, and stuff like that, and everything like that. But he said he's got something ahead of him, and that's another thing too. Being a father, which Stanionis is ready to be, you know, um, that's a beautiful thing. And for him to be, for him to that hunger that a father has is different than to me. It is different than just the regular to me. And it depends on the person as well. But I think Stanionis is a family man from what I've seen and what I've heard. Um, and I'm not saying Jerron Busenis because I think Jerron Busenis definitely is a family man. I mean, him and his father are close. But I think Stanionis being a father, I think that this is gonna change his whole way of training and probably rededicate him a little bit because he's been a little bit inactive as well. And some people would say, why would he resign with PBC and stuff like that? But PBC must have seen something in Jerron Busenis because they were able you know I believe they either sent out the offer or the offer was made to them and they accepted it, or however it was done, it was agreed to. So both promoters feel like, you know, this is the fight to make at this time in their career. And I know Stanionis has been wanting a big fight. He was supposed to fight Virgil Ortiz, I believe, not once, but possibly twice. And two failed attempts. Virgil Ortiz, couldn't make the weight or, had difficulties, cutting weight. And now Virgil Ortiz is at 154 pounds, and he's doing well at 154 pounds. And but this fight, man, is at welterweight, and a lot of people have Jaron Boots Ennis number one in the division, but there are three other champions. Some would say four other champions in the division if you count the IBO. Um, but this is gonna be a good fight, man. This is gonna be a good fight. This is gonna be one of those fights, you guys, that you watch this fight and you're like, damn, man. I got my money's worth. I think that this has the capability of being one of those fights that you remember. You know, um, I'm not a Jerron Boots Ennis is not out the realm of getting caught with a shot. I mean, he's not perfect. He's not Mr. Perfect. And maybe Stanionis seen something in Jerron Boots Ennis after the Chutinov fight. After both of those fights. Both of those fights were both of those fights were I believe the Chunev fight, the first fight was I feel like it was both fights were kind of close in my eyes. I feel like both fights, he didn't just blow the guy out. I mean, it was a pretty good fight. It was a nip and tuck fight. I wouldn't say it's a back and forth fight, but I mean definitely, it was definitely, a good fight. I just feel like Karen Chunev, I feel like he could have done more in both fights, and so have Jaron Boots Ennis. He could have as well. So, he defended his title twice so far. He defended it twice, the IBF, and I can't wait to see this fight, man. This is gonna be a big fight, and I'm just so excited to watch this fight. I think it's gonna be a good fight, man. I think both guys are, systematically gonna try to break the other guy down, set traps, be the man, be the more dominant, welterweight, and show who's dominant, show who's the man, show who runs this shit, in the welterweight division. I feel like there's a lot on the line. Stanionis, like I said, has a baby on the way. You know what I'm saying? He has, new focus. I feel like, being a father is something new. He knows he has to be a provider now. He knows he has to get the job done. And, dealing with a fighter like that, man, you know, he could be, he could have that extra gear, you know what I'm saying? And he's gonna need it, I feel like, against Jaron Boots Ennis. Especially with his come forward style. He's gotta have some type of head movement. If Stanionis doesn't have any head movement from the get-go, it could possibly be a, mid to late night fight, you know what I mean, for him, meaning he could get stopped mid to late in this fight. Stanionis could. If his head movement is, lackluster, and I'm seeing him getting caught early in certain exchanges, it could be an early night. It could be an early night. I believe I might go live on this fight, you guys. Just because I think this is a good fight, man. I really do. And I try to do the live streams for the good fights, the ones that, almost like a pick 'em fight. I like those type of fights. I mean, I would go live with any fight, but I feel like if I'm ever gonna go live, I mean, y'all deserve it, for me to go at least live on the big fights, like I used to do. You know what I'm saying? So nothing new, just gotta have a little bit more time. There's another fight going down as well, you guys, in Maryland Live Casino Saturday night. Jordan White is gonna be fighting, man. So I think y'all should check that kid out as well. I think he's pretty good. Um and he's fighting another hungry guy as well. So I just think it's gonna be, and Lamont Roach's brother. I don't know if you guys know, but Lamont Roach has a brother, and he's gonna be fighting on the undercard of that. So I'm pretty sure Lamont Roach will be in the building. Um, you know, because I'm pretty sure his dad is training him as well, his little brother. So yeah, man. The Roach legacy continues. And it continues. We could get sponsored, by some type of smart water, you guys. I'm always down for the sponsorship. But yeah, man, this is gonna be a good fight, man. I can't wait to see who's gonna win this fight. Like I said, I think both guys are really, really in a good position. I know Stanionis said in the post weigh-in, he was just saying that he was just he was happy that both guys made weight. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. I'm gonna see if I can play back what they have to say to him on the post fight. Let's see if they. Let's see if they showed it. I don't think so. I'm gonna let you guys listen to what they said on the I'm gonna let you guys listen and see what they say on the way in. Hey, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It's gonna be a good fight, man. I can't, stress it enough.
Down here at the Jersey Shore.
It's gonna be a good one, man. It's gonna be a good one. Stanionis is looking like he's in very, very good shape. And I can't wait to see it, man. Let's see what we got here. Here we go.
Eimantas, you look in incredible shape. Ennis looks in incredible shape. No rehydration clause. How much weight do you plan on putting on after this?
I don't focus, to be honest, how much I will put and how much he's going.
This is the post interview after the weigh-in. After both guys made weight, this is what both fighters had to say before they're ready to see each other. This is the last time they'll see each other until fight night. So they get in the ring. This is what they had to say.
It's the skills,
Now, a lot of people were suspecting that Ennis was having a difficulty making 147. What do you see now in his eyes and what do you see in his body?
He's true professional. He's trying to make a weight. He made a weight, and I appreciate that and I respect that. I've been in some situations where somebody couldn't make weight, so now everything is set, everything is done. I'm happy, and that's it.
And champ, I noticed when you stepped on the scale, you gave the hush motion.
Yeah.
There's a lot of noise, I think, for the first time in your career, kind of rising here. People were saying that your stock maybe stalled a little bit last fight. What are they going to be saying about your performance after tomorrow?
They're going to see. I'm going to show the world. I'm going to show the world I'm the best in the world. It's my time. My time is now in that WBA, that Ring Magazine belt, and I'll be able to, we're going back to Philadelphia.
You've been talking about wanting to stamp a legacy. What drives you for greatness in terms of legacy over maybe the fame and the fortune that other championship fighters strive for?
Legacy is, everything. I want to stamp my name at the welterweight division, and be up there with the Greeks, Sugar Ray Leonard, Floyd Mayweather's, and it's that time.
What did you see in Eimantas Stanionis' eyes in the final face-off?
Them belts coming home, like I said, them belts coming home. It's that time, and I'm gonna show the world I'm the best in the world. Make sure y'all tune in. Don't get up to get no popcorn, don't move, don't blink, none of that. It's that time.
And when you talk about boxing venues, Madison Square Garden, MGM, the Boardwalk Hall's right up there. It's going to be completely full to the rafters tomorrow night, and it deserves it because I think this is the fight of the year. I think this is the best fight we've seen in 2025. It's the best be the best. It's everything that a fight fan wants. And, it's also the Ring Magazine Championship. You look at the names that have won that belt in the past. Mayweather, Sugar Ray Leonard, Wilfred Benitez, Sugar Ray Robinson, Emil Griffith. It's just a huge, huge moment, and a huge moment for Jaron Ennis to go and show the world how special he is. He'll have to be special to beat Stanionis tomorrow night. I think Stanionis is coming fired up, charged up, in the shape of his life, and you will get a thriller in Atlantic City on DAZN tomorrow night.
Well, you heard it, man. They say you're going to get a thriller in Atlantic City tomorrow night, which is right now, tonight. So I'm going to get some shout-out, man. You guys, I hope you guys love the live stream. I gave you guys the official breakdown. I think that my final, prediction, I said again, I'll say it again, Jaron boots Ennis by unanimous decision. It could be a split decision, but I don't see it being a draw. I think Ennis has to separate itself, get a knockdown or something, possibly get Stanionis hurt and get him out of there, but I'm not saying that's not out of the realm of possibilities, and I feel like Jaron Boots Ennis could possibly get caught as well. So, that's not out the realm of possibilities either, but I think that Jaron Boots Ennis wins by unanimous decision. That's my final take. That's my final, um, prediction, breakdown, all of that in one. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Please smash that like button, you guys, and subscribe. And I'll check you guys on the next one, man. This is Corey Lee Boxing, and we're back with another banger. Peace out, you guys.